As a new day begins, the first thing I do is take my shears to the porch and personally trim the bonsai tree that has been abandoned for years. Plants are just like human beings. Without being pruned, without clearing away the dead branches and withered leaves, new life will never have the chance to sprout. Watching the tree slowly reclaim its neat shape under each cut, I suddenly realize my life at 40 needs the exact same painful pruning. I must. I make decisive cuts through the dry, brittle branches and withered blossoms of the thorny rosebush. Pruning the rose reminds me that life, too, can be filled with the sharp thorns of overwhelming debt. If we do not bravely face and remove them, we will forever remain trapped in our own wounds. Next, I look up to prune away the decayed wood and yellowed leaves from the old starfruit tree. My ancestors' starfruit tree still stands there silently through countless seasons, serving as a powerful reminder of the solid roots I mistakenly forgot during the years of relentlessly chasing after the illusion of wealth. Finally, I kneel in the corner of the wall, meticulously plucking away crushed leaves and clearing out the thick moss to clean the water in the simple mini lotus pot. Once the mud and decayed weeds are cleared, the surface turns completely still, ready to reflect the morning sun and welcome new lotus buds pushing upward. I make decisive cuts through the dry, brittle branches and withered blossoms of the thorny rose bush. Pruning the rose reminds me that life too can be filled with the sharp thorns of overwhelming debt. If we do not bravely face and remove them, we will forever remain trapped in our own wounds. Next, I look up to prune away the decayed wood and yellowed leaves from the old starfruit tree. My ancestors' starfruit tree still stands there silently through countless seasons, serving as a powerful reminder of the solid roots I mistakenly forgot during the years of relentlessly chasing after the illusion of wealth. Finally, I kneel in the corner of the wall, meticulously plucking away crushed leaves and clearing out the thick moss to clean the water in the simple mini lotus pot. Once the mud and decayed weeds are cleared, the surface turns completely still, ready to reflect the morning sun and welcome new lotus buds pushing upward. In the real estate business, the very first lesson I learned was about liquidity and risk management. When the market froze in 2024, my company collapsed not because we lacked assets, but because we lost our cash flow, the only lifeline that keeps an organization alive. That devastating downfall taught me a brutal truth. All illusionary numbers on paper, all titles of CEO or chairman mean absolutely nothing if you cannot master reality. But the mindset of a leader does not vanish with the lost wealth. Rising above in life, after all, is just like restructuring a business on the brink of bankruptcy. The first and most critical step is not to chase immediate profit, but to cut losses. Bravely cutting away your pride, cutting away false expectations, and facing the actual mountain of debt. At 40, standing before the countryside field or holding shears to prune decayed branches, I realized that the laws of this life are perfectly fair. To build a skyscraper, the first step is not to look up at the sky, but to dig a deep foundation into the earth. Right now, my negative balance is that exact foundation. I accept humbling myself to clear the ground of my life, starting over from the smallest tasks, accumulating every single penny from honest physical labor. This is not a cowardly escape, it is an active defensive strategy while waiting for the right moment to strike back. Fortune can vanish overnight, but the management skills, sharp mindset, and courage to face adversity will always be the priceless assets that follow a man until the very end of his life. Leaving the porch of my ancestral home, I walk out to visit the vast rice fields stretching across my countryside. Standing amidst the windy landscape, breathing in the sweet scent of young rice and early soil, I feel my chest expand after endless days of suffocating debt. The countryside always possesses an invisible healing power. In the city, people crowd and fight over land and fortune. But here, the earth is forgiving, nurturing all life with absolute silence and honesty. Walking among the budding rice ears, I know the road ahead may be bumpy, But as long as I dare to move forward and face reality, life will always open up a new path for me. Walking through the fields, my eyes suddenly stop at my VF3 car parked right here, right next to me at the edge of the countryside road. This is the only valuable asset left with me after the catastrophic real estate bankruptcy of 2024. These days, as life hits a dead end and my pocket runs completely dry, a tormenting question keeps echoing in my mind. Should I sell this car? For a 40-year-old man who once stood at the peak of his career, a car is not just a means of transport, it is the final shield of pride, the last shred of dignity used to conceal the inner ruin. Selling it means I will immediately have some cash to cover daily expenses and ease the suffocating pressure of my debts. But selling it also means I must cross the final boundary, completely exposing my failure to the eyes of the world. This inner conflict has left me breathless for many nights, torn between the harsh reality of putting food on the table and the pride of a former businessman. Should I let go of this very last material possession in exchange for a peace of mind? Or keep
Chào chú.
holding onto it as a reminder of the life I once had? In all honesty, I still don't have the answer. As the late twilight gently falls over the fields, the countryside enters the night of the full moon of the 6th lunar month. I return home to prepare a simple offering to present to the spirits in the yard and my ancestors inside the house. Amidst the drifting clouds of incense smoke, standing before the ancient altar of my forefathers, my mind, once filled with tormenting conflicts, suddenly turns incredibly still. One might lose all material possessions in the world outside, but upon returning here, beneath the roof of my ancestors, I realize I am never truly alone. The incense sticks lit on this full moon night are not just a ritual, they are a spiritual thread connecting me to my roots. It is an apology from a wandering son who spent years chasing illusionary fame and wealth only to return with a wounded soul. Watching the flame warm the quiet altar room, I pray with all my heart. I do not ask my ancestors for wealth or fortune. I only pray for a steadfast will, the courage to let go of my remaining pride, and hands strong enough to begin my journey of honest labor tomorrow. Debt is a spiritual journey, and this ancestral home is the most peaceful temple for me to forge my character anew. Tonight, my mind is finally at peace and the storms have stopped outside the door.